growth and development for every nation in the world is a better plan. Not just any plan, but a well-implemented one, and of course, development partners. Who are Malawi's development partners and what are they doing? To know more, tune into Malawi's Development Partners MDP with me, Kathy Matura, on Luntha TV.
Luntha Television, bringing wisdom into your home.
A warm welcome, dear viewers, to Luntha TV. You are watching Malawi's Development Partners. Today we are privileged to host a very special guest whom I'm going to give an opportunity to introduce himself. Good morning. Can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
The pleasure is mine to be here. I ask everybody to call me Becky. My name is Rebecca Ada Donto, but everybody can call me Becky. I love to introduce myself as a mother of two young adults, a 31-year-old young man and a 28-year-old young woman, and simply the girl from Navrongo. Navrongo is a small town in the northeastern part of Ghana, and I said the girl from Navrongo.
Is that they undertake. And welcome, Becky, once again to the program Malawi's Development Partners.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Becky. So, can you start by telling our viewers, you oversee the work of various UN agencies, according to my understanding. Can you tell our viewers a bit about your role in coordinating UN support in Malawi's development agenda?
Thank you. Yes, as my title says, UN Resident Coordinator, because the key word is coordination of UN agencies. But before we even get to coordination, my office provides leadership to the UN system in Malawi to leverage all the UN assets in Malawi. First, to collectively envision how we will position ourselves to support the development aspirations of Malawi, and to strategize. And by strategy, what we do is we engage with government and people of Malawi to develop a UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework. You can just call it a cooperation framework. And in November 2023, we signed a 5-year one from 2024 to 2028, the cooperation framework for 2024 to 2028, which is the framework for all of UN's initiatives. And my office leverages all of those UN assets, connects with government, connects with partners. We also broker partnerships, first and foremost, bringing all the partners together and to help position Malawi to achieve its aspirations. And that is Malawi 2063. And the first
number of development challenges. So you've told me that you're in charge of the leadership and the coordination of the UN agencies. You called it, is it the cooperation framework? Yes, the cooperation framework in Malawi. I would want you to just
partners to really articulate what is the UN's comparative advantage. What are we bringing to the country? And at that level with government, we sign the cooperation framework, and then we move forward to what we call the Joint Steering Committee with UN and government. It is co-chaired by myself, the UN Resident Coordinator, and the Secretary to the President and Cabinet at that level. And then we also have the technical groups. We call them the results groups, where we have thematic focus areas, where the UN with government is usually in the leadership, and the UN co-chairs to look at the various thematic areas. In the current cooperation framework, we have 4 priority areas in which we mobilize the UN assets comparative advantages to then work with government to connect it directly with Malawi 2063. And I'm happy to say that Malawi 2063 is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, because that is the compass for all of us.
Okay, thank you very much, Becky. So in the same vein, can you share with us, you mentioned about the UN agencies working in a unified manner together towards the cooperation framework. Can you share with our viewers some of the projects which the UN agencies are working on together in partnership with the government?
Thank you very much. But before I even do that, let me quickly just give you an example that many people can relate with, because I know Tropical Cyclone Freddy that hit the country in March 2023 really caused a lot of havoc, and every Malawian, including those in the diaspora, were involved. And for example, the UN at that time mobilized the development partners in resource mobilization, but also in bringing data to inform all the interventions. How many people are affected to develop the post-disaster needs assessment? And that was a key role of really brokering partnerships, mobilizing resources, bringing all development partners on board to support. But let me give you the examples that you are asking about. The first one I would want to share is on the Spotlight Initiative. This is UN with support of EU and other partners, Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Homeland, and others, to really help to the flourishing of young girls.
It was about the safe space for girls, the same thing that you're talking about, early marriages, taking them back to school and everything. There was mention of the program coming to an end. Is it something that has been, you managed to get funding towards the Spotlight Initiative? Is it still going on? Can you share with our viewers? I know it's a project that a lot of our viewers at home, especially girls and women, identify with.
And the national ID, I think right now we have over 1.1 million registered, over 700 children registered, and linking that with functional systems like elections, like payroll, like tax management, that has so far resulted in Malawi saving about $42 million. And this digital public infrastructure is something that can be leveraged for financial inclusion, for everything is digital these days, and innovation. So the national ID is one of those that will quickly come to mind to share. Let me tell you, from one of the relatively smaller agencies like UN AIDS, we all know what the AIDS pandemic was, but with the support of UN AIDS, USAID and other partners, UN AIDS has leveraged use of data to bring models like the Spectrum and Naomi models to leverage data different sectors of society together to ensure that one, Malawi COVID pandemic came and took us many years back, to the extent that it's taken some development countries almost 30 years back in development. So it's not just Malawi alone, but I am RC for Malawi. So for me, Malawi education Malawi is also not doing badly at all. On food security, unfortunately,
Is a better plan. Not just any plan, but a well-implemented one. And of course, development partners. Who are Malawi's development partners and what are they doing? To know more, tune into Malawi's Development Partners MDP with me, Kathy Matura, on Luntha TV.
Luntha Television, bringing wisdom into your home.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, you are watching Malawi's Development Partners Today we are privileged to have on the show UN Resident Coordinator in Malawi, Rebecca Dotto Ada. She says I should call her Becky. So today we are privileged to have Becky on the show. Becky, we were talking about inclusivity and participation. The UN leaves no one behind. How do you, as the UN, work together with the Malawian communities, especially the vulnerable, the marginalized, and those in the grassroots, to make sure that they are also taken on board?
Thank you. The issue of inclusivity is very key because all member states of the UN came together to agree that the 17 Sustainable Development Goals will be anchored on a leave no one behind agenda. And that is where inclusivity is. And for us in UN Malawi, we employ a multifaceted approach to ensure that every Malawian, as much as possible, those vulnerable, most left feathers behind, are all involved in the envisioning to the implementation of UN support. And we leverage both digital and physical platforms to have this happen. For example, we use social media, digital platforms. When we were designing the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, we used digital platforms, for example, to really elicit views from young people. That is one demographic that we are very keen on engaging. So we use digital platforms to really engage. I remember we got over 10,000 comments from young people contributing towards that on Facebook. I think about 3,000 and over on Twitter, X now. And we also use physical platforms. What I mean is community engagements. You can find UN engaging almost everywhere. The other day I was in the Como Island supporting
women involvement, you mentioned